Welcome back to How Farms Work. We are in the 8235R. We've got the baler on the back. Travis is in the 76. He's got the other baler. We are headed down to the valley to make our first cutting of hay down there. So it's getting kind of late in the year for us to be on our first cutting of this. However, we've gotten so much moisture that it's been keeping us out of the bottom. Now, the shelves are now dry enough to where we can make a cutting of hay. So Dad and Travis came down earlier and they raked up as much as they could with both rakes, and we want to get this made because we have other hay on the ground that we're going to want to be baling in 2 days. So we want to get this made today so that we can haul in tomorrow. We've got some help coming that is going to help us move these bales, and then hopefully we can focus on finishing the rest of our second cutting that we've got up around the main farms. But there's still some fields, other fields that we haven't even gotten into yet, just because it seems like we've been making hay pretty much any chance we can. But we're just about to get down here now. We're gonna fire the baler up, get started. Hopefully it's gonna go by pretty quick, but I think we should be able to get this done before the sun goes down. But we gave it as much time as we could to dry. It's now 4 o'clock, and down here the sun disappears around 7, so hopefully we can get it done fairly quick. But anyway, let's get started. Years ago, when we first started farming these fields, there were 2 swampy areas out there that have come back since we've gotten so much moisture. But we got them to dry out by just making the hay off these fields, so I think give them some time, they'll dry back out. But it's actually cut, but we didn't go out and rake around them because any of the stuff that was cut that's currently over that swamp isn't going to be dry anyway, and we're not going to want to bale it. So Travis said he plans on just bringing the batwing mower down and mowing that just to grind it back up. Going to be selling finished steers for the first time today. So in the past, what we've always done is we've always just raised feeder cattle. Typically when you raise feeder cattle, you're aiming for a goal of 500 pounds. What a lot of guys do is they take their steers off pasture over the summer months and they sell them at 500 pounds to another farmer that'll take them in. They'll fatten them out to, they say, roughly 12 to 1400 pounds. Oftentimes it's more than that, and that way you get a higher dollar amount for the cattle. The overall price typically is lower. Last I knew, the last steers that we had sold went for around 2,000. These guys I'm aiming to get at least 2,500 out of, if not more than that. If I get 2,500, I'm going to be happy. So we've been having a nutritionist come out every month and look at the steers, look at our cows, make adjustments to their feed ration that we're giving them, and make adjustments to it. So we've been tapering off how much additional feed that we've been mixing in for the steers. Now it's mostly corn and about 400 pounds of concentrate. So he came out yesterday and had a look at my 23 steers, 23 steers and heifers that are in the pole shed, and decided that there are 3 that are ready to go. So I'm pretty much letting him do the work in deciding when to sell them, because I can't look at an animal and go, yep, it's that weight. So he told me that there are 3 in here that are fully finished out and are ready to go. So he said that in another month there will probably be 7 or 8 of them that are gonna be ready. So I'm just selling them as they reach heavier weight, so then that way the smaller animals aren't pushed out quite as much. They get a better chance at eating the feed. Despite having a huge bunk space and plenty of feed access for them, it seems like they all like to go out and eat at once, and that's in the morning and at night. Once the sun goes down, they pretty much do not come out to the feeder at all during the day, ever since we've been getting all this heat. So I'm gonna sort these 3 off, push them into the lot below. The drone is currently in my truck, so we're gonna go over to the farm, get Dad's truck, go down, get the livestock trailer, load these 3 steers up. We'll take them to where we're taking them to, and they're pretty much going straight to the plant, and they'll be processed. So I should have a check in about a week and a half is what I expect. So once I get that, I'll keep you guys updated as to what they sold for. But I'm pretty excited for this. So this is something new. I've been pretty timid to step into new boundaries. We sold a heifer at this place just as a test, and we were happy with what she went for. She was like a 2-year-old that never calved, so we fattened her out for, I think it was like 4 months, and she looked really nice when we hauled her out. And a couple in here, looking at them, I can't tell the difference between the ones that are finished, except for when he was here yesterday and was pointing out the differences. It's like, oh yeah, it's like that guy's ready to go for sure. So I'm taking pictures of them, so then I have health records for each of these animals, because I'm trying to keep better track of the animals' weights, what they look like, their average daily rate of gain, which one of these guys in here I checked last night was actually born in May, and I think it was like May 15th that he was born. And overall we estimate that their average daily rate of gain was 3.1. He likes to see at least 2.8. So he said we did pretty good there, but these bigger ones that are going first did much better than that. So I'm looking at what genetics they've got to try to work that into my commercial herd. I'm going to be focusing more on the registereds going forward, but I'm also going to be running commercial feeders right alongside them, because it's going to take a long time to grow my registered herd. And in the end, I'm probably not going to want to get rid of some of the genetics that I've had around the farm and I've been working with for the last 10 years. So let's start these guys off. Well, that was easy. Come on. The other one I need is literally right here too. I don't know if I can sort him off just standing here. Look out, guys. Come on. Come on. I don't know if you need for you. $72, $73, and $55.86. Come on. Come on. Come on, dude. You, sir, need to go to the left. Come on, dude. 72, 73. Hey, buddy. You're the one I need. The only one that didn't run away. It's almost like the fatter they get, the less they want to move. Come on down! Not you! Not you! Come on. This is literally the easiest thing ever. Wow. Yeah, I saw you guys coming. So before I leave to go get the trailer, I'm just looking them over one last time. I need to make sure that we thought one of their tags said something, so I want to make sure that the one I've got sorted out is the one that we actually intended to sell. I don't want to be taking one if it's too early. I was looking at the numbers. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, did we decide it was this number or this number? Totally forgot. However, I've got a camera in the pole shed, so it'll be easy for me to go back and look at our conversation to know what we had decided the number was. I didn't stick it in my brain. I wrote it down, but I don't know if I corrected it or not. Yeah, I was worried about selling fats because I was worried that we didn't have the facilities to handle them. But once they reach that fat weight, it really seems like they don't want to move. The ones you want to load up and take out are usually the slowest moving ones in the herd. So as long as you don't get them excited, like that right there, I just sorted them off in like 5 minutes tops. To be blatantly honest, I think the hardest part of finishing your steers isn't any of the labor you got to do. It's holding off financially and being able to make it that much longer without selling your steers, which I've been working on going later and later. We used to always sell in the spring, but now it's to the point where they're pretty much already 1,000 pounds by June and July. And I think Dad's average is like 900 and he got 2,000 a piece roughly. And being able to sell sooner, it helps because you have that cash flow coming in. But if you can gain another 30% or maybe up to 30% more by holding on to them, for me it makes sense, not including the cost of the corn, which I'm gonna be blatantly honest here, with the current price of corn is not that much. So I definitely see a decline coming with the current cattle prices, because it's been pretty much steady up. On Monday, actually, they just were down a little bit, which is the first time I've been seeing it go down since, well, the spring. So we're almost back to the farm. Dad's gonna help load them up. It's always better to have two people whenever loading, just to help keep them moving, and that way someone's always close to the trailer to close the gate on them. Come on. It's now been 2 weeks since I sold my first 3 finished steers, and I got the sales ticket back. So I wanted to go over some of the things, talking about the differences between finishing your cattle and selling them as feeders. So typically what happens when we sell our feeder calves is we take them to the auction barn, and then somebody else picks them up and fattens them out. So typically what you get paid on at the sales barn is based off the live weight. However, since these went straight to slaughter, we actually get paid on what is known as the hot weight, which is the weight after they remove the head of the animal, they remove the internal organs, and it's still the warm weight of the animal before it's chilled. And typically they say that the hot weight is going to be between 60 and 64% of the live weight. So you can kind of use those interchangeably. And I wrote down which numbers I believe that the animals came off of. So R72, 73 was the biggest one. Pretty easily you could look at them and tell that. And you actually get paid based on how the meat is graded. So you have your prime, you have choice, and you have select. So prime is the best because you have more marbling within the meat itself. Choice is more often what you're going to see with the Angus breed, and that has less marbling, but it's still high quality beef. And then you have select, which I believe is the lowest quality. If there isn't another one, the next step down is going to be like ground beef, which is what you'd probably expect bulls to go for, older cows. Meat that's not from an animal that is quite as young. So when we had fattened out that heifer for 4 months, since she was an older animal, she grew a lot slower, and she actually went for prime. These steers are some of the younger steers that grew the fastest. So it doesn't really surprise me that they went for choice. What can influence whether an animal will go for choice or prime is how fast they grow. So the harder you push an animal, the more likely that the grade is going to be lower than prime. And that's been something that since we're finishing them for the first time, we've actually really tried to do, is we've really tried to push them along by providing them more concentrate. Early on, I had them on corn a lot sooner than I would like. My intention this year is to feed them hay longer until they hit about 800 pounds and then put them on corn more heavy. So with that automatic feeder, I plan on putting that in with them and rationing out how much corn they're getting on each day. So then that way I can slowly, gradually work them up to getting onto corn rather than putting them on as much corn as they can eat pretty much as soon as they're weaned. And I've pushed them pretty hard in the past like that. So the longer you hold an animal, the slower they grow. There's a higher likelihood that it's going to go for prime. Genetics do play a part in that, and that's something to look at whenever you're buying a registered animal. Going forward, since I'm doing registereds, the nice thing is that I should have that information readily available if I'm buying a registered animal. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how much they went for. I would like to raise them up to about 1,400. They were a little bit on the lighter side yet of where I would really like them. So I can just hang on to them for a little bit longer and get them up to a higher weight. However, with the way the markets, I think the markets are going to move probably downward as we go into the fall. It might be a wash depending on whether I sell them now or later. But I don't really like to play the market game too much. I pretty much just like to do what I'm going to do as far as the cattle go. There are different things that you can leverage. There is something known as LRP that kind of protects you from a downward trend in the markets, but that's based more off the market price rather than anything that you sell. I'm actually looking to doing that next year. So I might talk about that some more in the future. If you think the prices are going to fall, you could actually sell live cattle futures. I've done a little bit of that in the past, but I don't like to do too much of it. I could utilize it more nowadays, now that I actually have more cattle on the farm. If I'm certain that the prices are going to go down, that would be something to look at. But I think that this year, at least, they're going to sell for kind of like these first 3 did. The remaining 20 will. So looking at the price wise, you actually get paid differently depending on what their grade was, and you can see the difference in price there. So my goal was 2,500 ahead, which is why I would like to hang on to them just a little bit longer, get them up to that 2,500 mark, and I'd be plenty happy if all of them sold for this average, to be honest. So anyway, that's my first 3 finished steer sales. I'm trying to not dabble too much into where I'm sending them yet. Just try to protect that as privileged information for the time being. Going forward, I might talk about it a little bit more, but since it's all very new to me, I like to move into this stuff pretty slowly. So far, seems to be working out pretty good. These guys sold for $300 to $400 more than my steers did last year, and they were much lighter last year as well. So they definitely put on weight. I think they put on about 150 pounds faster this year, feeding them the concentrate and stuff that we've been focusing on providing them. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat, all how farms work. And with that, I'll see you next time.